The coronavirus pandemic is a global pandemic that has taken huge toll on the education sector across the world. In Africa, millions of students are now out of school as they have no school to go on a daily basis. And right here in Nigeria, the government has stepped up its efforts in ensuring that this COVID-19 is.
Pick up.
And here in Nigeria, the federal government is ensuring that it continues its efforts in ensuring that this pandemic is duly fought.
Pick up.
Okay, and in Nigeria, all the institutions of learning are now on temporary shutdown until this COVID-19 is completely fought. But it cannot remain like that all the time. This is why the Lagos State government has continued to intensify the efforts in ensuring that students continue to learn from home, even while they are home with their parents. And in that development, we need to gain more insight to what has been happening so far in terms of online learning and of course every other thing. So a cohort blog has paid a visit to Lagos State Government Education District to have a chit chat with Dr. Mrs. Olufolayimika and
Action.
in order to gain more insight on how much this COVID-19 has hugely impacted the Lagos State education sector, a cohort blog paid a visit to Lagos State Government Education District 3 to have a chit chat with Dr. Mrs. Olufolayimika Anyodele to bring us up to speed on the situation of things as far as education is concerned. Dr. Mrs. Olufolayimika Anyodele is the Tutor General and Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Government Education District 3.
Once again,
Good morning.
I still remember myself, my humble self, Idris, a lawyer from News Agency of Nigeria, and here is with me.
Okay.
Okay, I'm chairman on the God blog.
Your cohort blog. Okay. Let me first of all thank you for, before you start this thing. Was it not a cohort blog that did the write-up on Ekwe teachers?
I'm one of the, not even one, I'm the correspondent for the God blog in Ekwe.
Oh, okay. So that's what I'm saying. So let me first of all thank you because you can hear and decide not to do anything.
Is it clear or should remove it?
It's clear, no, it's clear.
Okay, you can hear and I'm not doing anything, and so that means we are grassroots to the core, and it's also good to know that teachers are comfortable with one or two initiatives that have been brought in and that they're settling down with the new normal. So I want to thank you sincerely.
Thank you very much. For me, I think I have a problem with my hearing. Hope you guys are enjoying our conversation.
Mm-hmm. So it's clear to you?
Yeah. So Mom, please you introduce yourself, your position, and how we need to know about you. And thereafter, our purpose of today's interview goes down on COVID-19, its threats and remedy to the education sector in Lagos State and indeed in Nigeria. So from there we'll have to ask some other questions. Thank you.
Well, I'm Dr. Yinka Ayodele, the Permanent Secretary and Tutor General, Education District 3 in Lagos State. Well, the pandemic COVID-19 is actually biting hard, and every one of us is forced to comply with the new normal. A lot of factors, let me put it now. COVID-19 has affected virtually every aspect of life. But to me, the most hit is education. because education encompasses every other sector. And with that, it shows that a lot of people are affected. However, let me appreciate the work done by Mr. Governor of Lagos State and his team to curtail the virus in Lagos State, which is peculiar, and they are not only curtailing, they are also giving palliatives and also ensuring that education learning does not stop through various educational programs, right from the primary level, educational level, up to the tertiary. So I sincerely thank Mr. Governor for the initiatives and also for giving us the capacity to fit into this new role within a very short period.
Thank you. How has the COVID-19 affected the education sector in particular?
Well, COVID-19 is pandemic, but specifically for the education in Nigeria, let's bring it back to Lagos. It has actually affected us both negatively and positively. So in it we can see some positive aspects because there are so many creative things, so many we now have to think outside the box. We now have to key into the new normal, engaging students with the new technology available. However, we have some challenges. Challenges based on the social economy of our parents. Only very few of them are able to cope with our demand for learning online. But one good thing about it is that the few children that are available on our online platforms are enthusiastic. They are participating. We do our exercise, early morning exercise. We also have our afternoon exercises, and they participate. We mark online. Apart from those platforms, we also have the radio and television educational programs reaching beyond the state, reaching our audiences outside the state. Also, we are also mindful that not all the children are able. We are not able to reach all the children because of the epileptic power supply, and also not all of them are favored enough to have some of these gadgets, the TV, the radio, that they would need. But that notwithstanding, the engagement of the students on our TV and television programs is quite encouraging because they ask questions, live questions, and teachers answer them.
Okay, you really touched most of the aspects I was going to be asking you. So on the remote learning anyway, we see that the Lagos State government has been actively working, and you already said all of that. But the thing is, are these children, how are they being monitored in such a way that you see them availing themselves for this learning? Are they being assessed?
We assess learning. In fact, I just got both the e-copy and the hard copy of students that are present online and how many of them are actually participating. You know, this technology it's quite interesting because you can actually pick the number of people who read each message that is forwarded. So we take it from that, okay, this student at a particular time, we know how many of them are online. And then we also know the total number of the student population. So we do that, and then how many of us, or how many of the population are online, how many that are online are participating, we track for every subject. You know, and where we see that the children are not participating enough in terms of percentage, because we have their phone numbers, we call them. We talk to them, and some of them may be, oh, I don't have airtime, whatever it is, and then we try to overcome some of these challenges, and then I can always discuss that along the line.
So also, sadly, not all the parents have access to internet to start with, because you can see most of these children are doing themselves online, taking classes and all, because their parents have actually made it so for them. Ma, so how is the Lagos State government keeping the children in this category? How are they?
Well, to be candid, we have quite a large number of students in this other category that we have not been able to reach. So we now have a program that we have called Reaching the Unreached, whereby we still use a paper package to distribute worksheets done online to these children. So, and that it will be starting on Monday. It's just starting. It's just starting. So we have that, and we have the approval of His Excellency that we should add everything to ensure that the children are learning. But most importantly, a lot of them are actually being captured on our radio and television educational programs.
Yes, we are aware of some certain radio stations and TV stations making it happen already. Also, ma, I think this is just kicking off on Monday. Those people who have benefited from it since the time it started, will these children or pupils or students who will be getting theirs from Monday, wouldn't they be left behind? No,
you know, the thing is done in such a way that it is child-friendly. It has pictures, and then they interact with it. It's a worksheet, and then we deal with a topic per worksheet. So it is friendly, and not only at the senior school level, we are having it from GS1. So the junior school will be having using fine arts. So we'll be teaching maths and English using fine arts. So creativity comes in, the children can handle some concrete. We ask them to use some of the used items they can find at homes, and then from there we keep them meaningfully active while at home.
Ma, please, can you categorically tell when this online learning platform kicked off actually, if you can?
Yes, this is our 8th week. So we started immediately after the closure. We started the following Monday after the school closure. So this is our 8th week.
Okay. And then are these students or pupils, will it be based, I mean, the learning so far, will it be based on examination?
No. We are not too particular about exams. The thing is, learning should be a lifestyle. And examination is just to assess what you know, so that teachers can be better prepared on how to introduce the concept. So we are not focusing on exams, but especially at lower levels. But for our SS3, yes, we are focusing on exams. We are teaching them expectations of WAEC, also teaching them speed and accuracy. So we actually our lessons online are like they are in the classroom. But apart from those that are in SS3, other children, we interact with them, and then we are more of ensuring that we get their okay, let me put it this way. What we want at that level is just getting them active, bringing out initiatives, bringing out creativity and innovation at that level.
All right, you did speak about teachers, making teachers comfortable in terms of how they are going to carry out all these subjects. Are teachers themselves being given data on how to do this? Because I've heard a teacher complain, I'm a radio person, I've heard a teacher complain that they are not even giving us data, so it's only when we see the data that we carry out our thing.
I'm sure they are just few in number, because our profession is a noble profession. We see ourselves as frontliners, so data is necessary, but beyond that, we are ready to give in our best to support the government and the good people of Lagos State in ensuring that COVID-19 is curtailed. But that notwithstanding, we are working from home. We don't need to spend on transport. We don't need, we are working. So, and our salaries are paid instantly. On time.
And it doesn't seem like teachers working with the federal government or with the state government that they want to enjoy. How about the private school teachers?
Okay, the private school teachers, there is a slight, it depends on the contract they have with their employers, but I'm also aware that some of them are not that comfortable with this online arrangement. But, I guess they have to discuss with their employers.
You are a very versatile and well-informed and experienced person in this education sector.
Thank you.
How would you rate the level at which COVID-19 has impacted the education sector of Lagos State itself?
Well, COVID-19, like I said, has its pros and cons. The negative aspect of it is that we may have some children dropping out. So we are aware of that, and we are creating scenarios on how to get them absorbed back to school. A lot of parents will have some economic setback. We are aware of that. So we are also planning that when schools resume, some of these things will be considered, and we have some measures to ensure that we encourage our children to come back to school.
So we see a lot of drawbacks.
I can see some drawbacks. While I also see opportunities, because prior to COVID-19, public schools were not working or learning online.
Right.
So we are now at par. Teacher training is ongoing as we speak for almost 18,000 teachers in Lagos State. And then some of them have had the privilege of also improving their skills online. They have been part of some of these online activities from Harvard University, from Lagos Business School, from all these top schools. And when I see their certificates, I mean, it's quite encouraging. At least over 3,000 of them have personally informed me that they have participated in one of these educational programs or the other online, and they have so been giving them certificates. So most of our teachers are now digital educators, and that is quite interesting. Yes.
Okay, ma. I know that you have a thing for the girl child, and then you've already made us understand that a lot of things will be happening. Children will drop out, or there is a plan to find them, to get them back into school. But right now, from your observation, would you say the rate at which the girl child has been affected with this COVID-19 has increased?
Well, everything depends on statistics.
Right.
So whatever I say now is an assumption.
Okay, so let's put it this way, ma'am. How about, would you say at this time, children from poor families are the ones bearing the brunt of COVID-19 because it has really impacted them?
Well, to be candid, it will impact on everyone, despite their social background. But the impact may be felt more by children from poor families, purely for economic purpose. But you see, COVID-19 it does not only impact economic activities. Psychologically, there is an impact, and this one is for everyone. Some of them are sick, some of them might have lost loved ones, some of them might have one abuse or the other. So those are things that are happening, and the Lagos State government, with all its relevant ministries, are up to the task. We have councillors on ground, we have lawyers on ground to help out with those that are being abused. All the relevant ministries are on ground to help Lagosians stabilize, even during this COVID-19.
All right, but you just went into my next question actually, because there have been reports of children committing suicide, even in abroad. Maybe not.
We do. I'm not sure we have that here.
Much here in Nigeria. About children, because they feel very sad for not being in school at this time, even though there are efforts to make them continue learning, but some are still feeling like they are not with their peers.
Yeah, missing their friends.
So now, have you ever heard such case in Nigeria? Is it that prevalent?
Yes, children miss themselves. They miss their friends. They are confined in the four walls of their various homes. Nobody prepared for that, So that is why our counseling unit is very strong. We encourage our students to call in. We have trained our counselors, and the likely kinds of psychological issues that might crop up as a result of the effect of COVID-19 on our children. So we have that in place. But that is why we have this worksheet in colors that will attract children, that will make them active, that will move their minds off anything negative. We may not be able to do 100% job on this, but we are trying to ensure that we stabilize their psychological and general well-being.
Okay, Mama, let's talk about school reopening right now. Sometime in April, I think it was earlier April, the Federal Ministry of Education reiterated that school is not opening anytime soon. And then there have been a lot of fake news about Lagos state government saying this, about federal government saying that school will be opening soon. And it all looks like the parents themselves are agitating because they can't wait to get the children back in school. So now, what is the federal government's stance presently on school reopening soon?
Well, as we speak, schools are closed. But beyond schools reopening or otherwise, we are more concerned about the well-being of our children. These are the future. So we must ensure that they are healthy, both physically and psychologically. And at the same time, we are engaging their brain by getting them active in one form or the other. That's why I said we are not too particular about exams, especially for the younger ones. We just want to ensure that they keep exercising their brains and they are aware of the environment. They can speak to what is happening. So for schools to open or for schools to reopen, there are so many factors that will be put into consideration. And we give that to the experts, those in the health sector, those in other relevant sectors. They have to be sure that when our children come back to school, they will be safe. So the well-being of our children is key, very paramount.
So even regardless of the fact that the lockdown has been somehow eased across some key states, Lagos, Ogun, and the rest of it, of course you can't just get some children into school while others are just home, not doing anything.
So many logistics, so many things, because families have children of various ages. So when you ask some age group to be in school, what happens? So there are so many things we look at. Will the family be available to look after the older ones or the younger ones? Who do you want to go back to school? So many things that has to be considered.
So as it stands now, is it possible that government might be reopening the school, say by September, because that is where the new academic session is supposed to be?
I would not want to give an answer. Like I said, whatever time is safe for our children to resume school is when they will resume school.
And we don't see such time in June.
It could be very close. It depends on the curve of the
COVID-19.
Yes.
Speaking of the curve, right now in Finland, which already has over 6,000 cases, Finland is in Europe anyway, northern part of Europe. School reopened yesterday, and then they were finding some ways to ensure that students are keeping social distancing. And the fact that we can't continue locking down the school in Nigeria, somehow it has to be open at some point. So are there plans, maybe is the state government planning some things and maybe having conversations in terms of looking at, okay, we are going to open it, maybe not now, maybe soon, but even if they are going to do, these are possible plans.
To be candid, we meet practically every day to really plan scenarios. Nobody knows the future, but we can project into the future. Finland, we can go back to school because their class population is below 30. Finland is not, the population of Finland is not as much as in Nigeria. So Finland is easier to manage. You understand? So there are so many factors we put into consideration. And we are not going to copy any country. We are not going to copy what is not going to be relevant to us. Because these young ones are the future. We cannot jeopardize their future. So we need to really ensure that we do not have any children falling sick at a high rate when they go back to school. We want to ensure that all the schools are fumigated, we ensure safety. And I'm sure before too long, you will get to know about when schools will be reopening. Before too long. I know that parents are agitated. Parents want their children out. But we both have to ensure the safety of our children. So parents should take their responsibility seriously and not just push these young and beautiful ones back to school just for the sake of it. Children can learn anywhere, whether in school or at home. And that is what we want to preach. We want the access to education should be two ways. Not that children go to school to learn. Education can also be brought to school, to their homes. So learning should be every time, everywhere. So whether the children are in school or at home, they are learning, they are improving their cognitive and other skills, and we are preparing them for the future. That is the most important thing, not about going to school for exams or otherwise.
All right, ma'am. At this stage, would you advise that home lesson teachers can come around to come and take these children, though there is social distancing?
No, there can be social distancing if there is a physical contact. But let me tell you, that's one good thing about COVID. Lesson teachers teach children online. So some parents employ teachers to teach their children online at a particular time of the day, and the parents monitor the teaching. But this is only for the very, very few privileged ones. So while we'll encourage that kind of activities, we are also not going to leave behind those children that may not be able to enjoy that kind of learning style. So the Lagos State government is all about ensuring that all our children are learning and that teachers are skilled enough to have the kind of method that they can interact with children with to ensure active learning.
Now, for the students that are not privileged to enjoy the online teaching, what do you think can be done?
Okay, I've answered that. That we have worksheets, colorful ones, that will be distributing. So all the lessons we have had online, we have them on worksheets, and the children will interact with worksheets, and answers to the previous questions will be in the next edition. So they're interacting, they are looking forward to having the following edition of the worksheet, and they are learning.
Now, you said earlier that this COVID-19 pandemic caught everybody unaware, and as it is now, it's taking almost like a month, 2, 3 months now that we've been experiencing this COVID-19. So, what experience has it brought? What experience have you done from this COVID-19, and what has it exposed you to?
Like everybody knows, COVID-19 came in while we were all sleeping. We were not.
Advanced education now.
Yeah. So it's about just preparing for the uncertainties. While we plan for the future, we also plan for uncertainties. So that is where scenario planning comes in. We plan so many scenarios, and so that at any point in time we have alternatives to fall in. We are flexible to fall into the alternative that will favor us at any point in time.
So now you did speak about teachers being paid at this moment, and we also spoke about those teachers in private school. But going forward, do we see teachers being owed salary because of the economic effect of COVID-19, which everybody is pretending to understand at this way, because people are losing their jobs anyway, and some are not even getting paid, and some are experiencing salary slash. So looking at the maybe present amount earmarked for educational sector of Lagos State, do we see any kind of shake?
Well, whatever happens, everybody must be prepared for the uncertainty. And in preparing for the uncertainty, it's about getting skilled, getting more knowledgeable, having good health, and keeping fit. I know that I don't have to do things I was doing before if I want to float in the market, in the labor market. I need to do things that will meet the demand of the new normal. So anyone, and it's not about teachers, it cuts across all sectors. So anyone that wants to really be in business, be in labor market, must have additional skill. So anyone that has not acquired any additional skill may be thoroughly hit. Anyone that is not reading or acquiring knowledge, knowing how to do things differently in a better way, may be in that category that will be flushed out. So it's about everyone presenting himself and marketing himself as having been of value to the society. So we are not going to celebrate mediocrity. If you have value, then you'll be asked your service will be asked. Your service will be demanded if you are adding value. But if you are saying you are not digital, you are still analog, then even those on the farm, we are not going to do things as usual. Everything will be done differently to meet the demand of the present situation.
So to prepare for the unknown, everybody should also empower themselves with another stream of income, maybe.
Yes, that is just it.
And lastly, your good message to the parents at home and students who are willing or engaged to resume back to school or send their children back to school. Your good message.
Okay, one thing, I'm glad to know that our children want to go back to school. It is a good signal. That means children love coming to school, they are enjoying schooling. Gone are the days when children would leave home and not get to school. They would get distracted, go to other places. But now we are happy to know that our children want to see our faces. We also miss them. Because we would have loved to call on them, hug them, shake them. But because of the new normal, we can't shake, we can hug, but we can see them online, we can call them, we can hear the voice. Especially for those of them that are privileged enough to have access to this kind of gadgets. So we miss our students too. But it's just that we just have to cope with what is on ground. We miss our parents. So I want to advise our students and our children at home that never mind, this will soon come to pass. We are still going to see and smile at one another. We are still going to call your name one after the other, asking you to do one activity or the other in the classroom. But let us ensure that the coast is clear for your safety, for your bright future.
And to the parents.
And to the parents, well, we want to thank you for having these children for this period. Please, we beg of you, encourage them to do the work we forward to them from school to do, and help us to take good care of them. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your love to these children and your prayers. And we know that at the end of it all, we'll have cause to thank God. Okay, teachers, my noble colleagues, I am proud to be a teacher. I really, really appreciate the work done, the passion, the commitment exhibited by teachers at this period of time. We sprung to action immediately, not even almost immediately. Immediately, we had teachers coming in despite the lockdown to ensure that we have content developed for our radio and television programs. Some of us were doing this for the first time, but we didn't mind. On it we have developed, on it we have grown, and we are happy to do it over and over and again. My appreciation goes to these teachers. Sometimes these children we call teachers, at all times, asking them questions on concepts they are not clear of, they are not clear about. Teachers are always willing to be of assistance. We are always happy to hear these children call us. It shows that they have passion. It shows the high level of commitment of these teachers. I can't thank you all, but I know that we are going higher, and that together we get better.
We've been commending the government over the fight against COVID-19 and level of commitment in ensuring continuity in the education sector. So in which area do you want them to still improve more in terms of government participation in this continuity in the education sector?
Well, once again, Mr. Governor, we thank you sincerely. We appreciate what Mr. Governor and his team are doing, and it's like whatever we say is good enough for the education sector. He is always there for us to support us, So we'll still come by with other things. Nobody knows perfectly what we all need at any point in time, but as we progress, we review, we get feedback, we go back again to our drawing board, come back to Mr. Governor. He has always been listening to us. So we thank Mr. Governor, and we pray that you continue to listen to us.
Now, one last question. What is your view about the school feeding program that was just being in the news in recent times? Because the people are saying that school is not opening right now. So why should such a program be even be talked about in the first place? Why should we feed our students at home? What is your view? What is your opinion on the school feeding program?
Before the schools were closed, we've always been having the school feeding program, whereby we give students in the primary schools 1 meal a day. You can't believe that in some cases, that 1 meal will be the only meal that these children will take. And the school meal has been a positive influence to children coming to school. They know that at least they won't go hungry in school, in addition to other things they learn in school. So that is one of the reasons why they love coming back to school. And of course, parents are happy because instead of giving that 1 meal to the child, then maybe an additional meal from home, what we'll do. So that is keeping our children healthy.
So is that a way to also keep encouraging them to keep learning at home by bringing
So we don't want to end it abruptly, because a lot of them depended on it. So the federal government has done good with the continuation of the feeding program. I mean, that was. I mean,
it's not a way to embezzle.
No, I don't. If anybody wants to embezzle, whether in school or out of school program, but it's about commitment and ensuring that these children don't go hungry. So I see from the compassionate angle, let's continue what is good that they have been doing in school. The fact that the children are not in school does not mean that we can't give them that one meal. After all, they are learning. So,
thank you very much, Ma.
No, I'm fine.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so very much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.